Welcome back to another episode of Crystal Oak Fishing. I shot this grouper. This right here is its heart. Cheers. Welcome back to another episode of Crystal Oak Fishing. Behind me we have the boat, the crapper, the action crapola, the vessel. She was getting fixed while I was in college, had some engine issues, but she's back, I'm back. It's much colder than it was when I left, but we're gonna try to head out and see what we can shoot. See you on the water. Welcome back underwater, everybody. This episode's kind of crazy. We hop around a bunch of different places. We were up shallow, then we were out deep. It was clear, then it wasn't. We came back in, finally found fish. Missed a sheep's head there, up shallow, but yeah. So here, just hiding behind a piling, sheep's head pulls up, blast him, and yeah, we just put him up in a crab trap, no big deal. And
dude, they're all over this dock. Tell your dad to come here.
we got some crabs later in the day. You know who else has crabs? Your mom. Okay, so this was weird. I included this because we went up to this spot and the particles were just huge, and it was really weird to dive. We didn't shoot anything here, but it was cool. All right, so went out to the tanks, trusty spot. We pulled up and started shooting. I see a grouper through here. You can't really see it on the GoPro unless you're watching the TV. Pulled the trigger. Thought I hit it. I really did. So I started pulling the shaft out, but looks like I didn't, and the shaft kind of gets stuck. So I have to kind of wiggle it out. This is kind of cool. A few days ago, I had thrown the flash around and I lost it because clarity was bad.
Dude, Will, check this out.
But I found it. So this is actually Matt's camera. He's sitting in here with me, but I'm going to narrate it. Basically, he's chilling. He doesn't go to the bottom because he's bad at diving. And he's just swimming around up top, spooking the crap out of everything. And he keeps swimming, keeps swimming, keeps swimming. He's kicking his little feet. And then he sees a snapper. He shoots it. And he just kind of lets it sit there because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do. You just kind of let it hang out and sit there. Then a Goliath eats it because it was sitting there. Oh, what a surprise. And then he does this. And he gets his shaft back and he gives it the finger because why not? This dive was pretty cool for Matt. He actually landed a fish. That's kind of rare for him. And he basically pulls up to the bottom. He sees the snapper, tries to shoot it. He sits here. He looks at like 3 or 4 different snapper. I've watched this several times. And then that one goes in the pipe too. And then finally he's like, all right, I'm going to shoot this next one. And then he does. Oh, does he? Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, okay, now he's going to shoot it, right? Right? No, oh. What about now? There we go, he shot it. Look at that. And then he didn't learn his lesson from the last time. He's not getting it to his body. Now he's doing it. Yay, go Matt. He got the fish, and it's great. Look at that. Nice mangrove snapper. Tasty food that he probably fed to his cat. Matt requested I show this dive as well. You can find it on his TikTok, which is also on the screen right now. This next mat dive is pretty cool. I thought I'd include it because there's a lot of fish in it, which is pretty sick. There's just a lot of fish here. It's a clear day. He gets down. He starts kind of swimming out around above the bottom. See some sheep's head there, some snapper. There were also a lot of hogfish out on this day. And yeah, he's just checking out the spot. He comes back up. So the next dive after this, we head in a little more, and the clarity just gets horrible. But I see this grouper, pull the trigger when I'm nice and close to it, grab him, and I've actually stoned this fish, so I'm able to take my time getting to the surface.
Oh my god. You ready?
But yeah, that's the last fish of the day. I will see you all in the kitchen.
Got a nice grouper. We're gonna go cook half of it and save half of it in a vacuum seal. See you then. We have this grouper from yesterday. I kept it over in the brine overnight before filleting it. Now first thing we want to do before we scale it or anything is we're gonna take the cheeks. So the way you want to do that is you're gonna feel around where the cheek is and where the soft part begins here. You're gonna take your knife and you want to insert it in there, going all the way around and cutting down along that bone there. And you kind of feel the mouth relax and fall open when you cut that membrane that's important to cut. And then you just scrape out the bottom of the cheek with your knife. And remember, your fillet knives are flexible for a reason. You can really get them in there and follow along that bone. Get in there. Right there. There's that cheek. Now this right here, cheeks, that's part of the fish. So what you want to do is to skin it, you can literally just peel it off. Grab it just like that, peel it off, throw it over the catfish. There's a grouper cheek right there. Here's another one. Catfish. And you just kind of clean up anything here that you don't like this white bit here. I can take off if I want and throw them. It's ready to eat. If I'm vacuum sealing, I always keep it skin on. I scale skin on so that I have as many options as possible for when I finally do decide to cook it. I'm vacuum sealing everything in this grouper except for what I'm cooking later for the video. So I'm gonna scale the fish. You're gonna just take your scaler and run it like that until you get all those scales off. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera. So once you got your fish all scaled up, you're gonna wanna take some fillets that look like this. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. First, you feel the head until the skull meets this soft, fleshy part. You wanna take your knife, you wanna put it in right there, right where it meets the fleshy part, and then you run your fillet knife along the spine, all the way down. You don't need this first cut to be that deep. You just wanna really make sure you're pushing down so that it's right up against the spine of that fish. Because that's how you preserve as much meat as possible, is by cutting as close to that spine as possible. Obviously staying flat to the spine so that you're not cutting through the bones, because then that's a bit of a headache to deal with. Just take it all the way through, just like that. Now, you wanna go back along and make your deeper cut, running all the way along that spine. You want to hear that scraping. That means that you're along the spine. That's good. Now, if you feel resistance because of the bones, then you are no longer just along the spine. You are cutting through it, and that's not good. Once you hit that spine, these groupers, they have a decently big spine. So what you want to do is you want to take your knife and poke it through on the other side and bend it. Your knife is bendable for a reason. Allow it to bend and run along the spine on the other side over the spinal muscles, not the muscles, the thick part of the spine, so that you can preserve as much meat on the other side as is humanly possible. Now, once you have made that cut here, and you have your meat nice and loose, you can take this cut here, start where you started your fillet, cut around the head, over the ribs, and down to where you end your fillet here, where your knife came out, right by the beginning of the anal fin, just like that. And then you want to just keep cutting. I cut through the ribs because I don't have to worry about getting the guts touching the meat, because I got them in the water. And then I take the ribs out afterwards. And once you've done that, you'll see I missed a little bit of meat. You got a nice grouper fillet. This carcass and everything, you can do a couple things. You could put the rack on the grill to get all these leftover pieces of meat, use them to make beef patties. I am gonna allow the catfish and the gators to enjoy. And now I'm gonna work with this. So the first thing you wanna do is clean up these little pieces of belly that you don't want right there. So I'm gonna take them off. I'm gonna take off this little fin right here that's kind of attached. Just wanna clean up the fillet so that you have only the nice meat that you really want. Everything here is good, everything here is good, this is all good right here. Then you feel for the ribs, which are gonna be right along this center line. You take your knife, you place it in as close to the ribs as you can, right along it, right there, on one side, and then on the other, exact same length. And you cut to connect that cut right there. And then when you have the skin on, this is harder to do, but you just want to take your knife, angle it down so you're starting to separate the ribs and the meat from the skin, and then you push down on the skin with your finger and pull the meat up. And now all the ribs gone. You've got a nice, usable, cookable grouper fillet. Hose that down, rinse it off, and we go to cook it. Right there is my fillet, and this is actually exactly where my spear went in, which is kind of cool. You can see all that clotted blood there. Gonna have to take that part out of the fillet because that's no good. But yeah, it did not go all the way through. And you can see it stopped right there.
All right, we got our grouper fillets. Gonna throw them on now.
First thing you want to do is get your pan all buttered or oiled up, skin side down on high, and sear that for a bit until it's nice and crispy, and then we'll move on to the next step. So, all right, once your skin's nice and crispy, you want to put in some butter. You want to get your garlic, and you want to put in some thyme. I like to use it fresh, but I don't have it fresh right now. So once you got the thyme and the garlic and the butter all in there, you're gonna turn the heat down to medium-high and start basting your fish. You want to flip when it's about halfway done, so like 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the size. This is a really good piece. And then flip, keep basting, and the skin should be crispy, and then you're done.
I'm a little concerned. Why are they carrying seat sources?